Tell me how you cook your ribeye steaks. I've got two here that I've let lay out in a Ziploc baggie to warm up and come to room temperature. And what we're going to do, I'm not going to oil the cast iron skillet. What I'm going to do is take some avocado oil and place that on top of my steaks and just kind of lightly rub that in on each of my steaks. And once we get that rubbed in, what I also like to do at this point is go ahead and grab me some good sea salt, and I like to add just a generous portion of sea salt to my steaks. And once I get that done, I just like to kind of pat that into the meat, and then I take a little bit of black pepper. I've got some here. We're going to sprinkle that on both sides, and we'll get that seasoned up with some black pepper, and just take and pat that in as well, and then we'll flip them over. And I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing on this side as I did with my avocado oil. Just lightly put a little bit on that, take and rub that in real good and get it all over the surface of the meat. Take our sea salt, go ahead and hit that pretty generously again, get that kind of rubbed in, patted in, and then we'll finish out again, like I said, with a little bit of black pepper. I kind of spilled a little bit too much there, but it'll be all right. We'll make that work. We'll get that kind of rubbed in here, and it'll be just fine. So anyway, we're going to get ready and take that to the stove. Once we get over here, my skillets are hot. They're about medium high. I like to take a little bit of water and sprinkle that in, make sure that they're warm enough, because the water will dance on the cast iron skillet. Here I've got a 3-notch Lodge cast iron, and I've also got a cast iron grill pan that we're going to cook one of the steaks in, and so we'll get some good grill marks. But this 3-notch Lodge here is real smooth bottom, and we keep it good and well seasoned up, and so it's got a good surface contact for the steak. And the grill pan, of course, is going to give us some grill marks, and I always enjoy that. So anyway, let me know how you cook your ribeye steaks, if you cook it in a cast iron skillet or a grill pan, or what type of oil you use or whatever, whether you put the oil in the skillet or whether you oil your steaks before you put those in. Now, one other thing I do is I add a bacon press or a hamburger grill press, something like this, on this cast iron grill pan. You may not, but it helps to hold the steak down, gives it a good contact. And man, I tell you what, it's just helpful because the heat retention of the bacon press and the grill press comes up from the skillet and is kind of like a conduction type deal, where, or a convection type thing, where the heat returns back through the steak and helps to cook it a little bit quicker. So this is something I do. You may not. Now I want to say one other thing about placing your oil on your steak instead of in the skillet. Your skillet won't have a lot of oil where it's kind of swimming around in it, if you will, but the skillet will be kind of dry, other than your normal seasoning on your skillet anyway. And the steak will sometimes tend to stick to the cast iron grill pan, as you see here, or to the bottom of a skillet. So you may have to take, even though you have developed a good crust on it, you may have to take a spatula or something and kind of loosen it up in order to get your tongs underneath it, but it's not a big deal. But as you can see, when the oil is actually just on the steak, it gives you a good looking crust here, and that's, you know, the sear is what we're looking for. And I think too that, you know, using the bacon press and the grill press really helps to help the steak get a good contact with your cast iron skillet as well as your grill pan. Now, you probably heard the timer go off in the background there while I was talking about the skillet and the oil there, but what I did for a steak on this thickness, I did 5 minutes on one side before I actually turned the steak in the grill pan to get more grill marks, but also to flip it over to start the other side to form the sear on that side as well. Now, in the magic of time here, we've had another 5 minutes go by, and what I'm going to do at this point, I'm going to go ahead, since I've got the sear on both sides, I'm going to add butter to this, and also some minced garlic. Now ideally it would be best to have garlic cloves, but I didn't have any garlic cloves at this point. And the reason why it would be better for garlic cloves is because garlic will begin to burn, and so will butter. Actually, I need to turn this skillet down, and I failed to do so, but anyway, you can see it starting to brown up here, and garlic will do that fairly quickly when it's minced like this, but it's not a problem, it's not an issue. You know, if you want to try to keep your butter from burning, or your garlic from burning, then you may want to turn your skillet down, add garlic cloves. Now on the grill pan here, you can see my steak actually curled up just a little bit on the side. I'm adding quite a bit of butter here because I want to add a little bit more into my cast iron skillet to be able to baste this a little bit better. And we'll go ahead, like I said, I want to turn that down and keep that from burning as much as possible. And so it's that's a good looking steak, man. You can see some good looking sear. We're going to get that butter taste in there, that butter base to it, and flip it over and get it on the other side. But I want you just to look at that steak right there. That is a perfect looking steak to me right there. On both sides, got a good crust to it. I'm going to lay it back down in here now. I'm going to take my Insta-Read thermometer and stab this, and this is going to run about 145 internal. And that because my wife, she's a little bit picky. She likes hers done a little bit more, so I have to cook mine a little bit more than I normally would. But let me know in the comments what temperature you like to have your steak. And but anyway, we're going to go ahead and add a little butter and garlic to this steak that's in the grill pan. This is actually going to be my steak here, and it's going to be a little bit less temperature than the one in the cast iron skillet. But like I said, this one's mine. I like mine to run medium well, and she likes hers medium well to well. So, you know, you got to make the wife happy. And but anyway, I'd like to know what you guys like on your steak, temperature wise. Now that we got these out, we got them plated up here, I just want to show you again, as we've let them rest, they've actually come up a few degrees, as they always do when they're resting. But we'll go ahead and cut into this one that was in the cast iron skillet here. And you can see that that's a good medium well steak right there. I mean, it's still got a little pink to it, but I just want you to look at the crust. Look at that. I mean, and the juices are clear. I mean, that's a perfect steak to me, in my opinion. And so I'll go ahead and cut into this other steak that was mine, or that I claim, and it's actually a little more well done, or a little more done than I like, but it still turned out very good too. So this is how you sear ribeye in cast iron. Thanks for watching.